Hello everyone and welcome. It's Shanna. So glad you're here today. Now we've got another Kat Scrappiness release, and I've got the Sunflower Fun Flower Duo Craft dies here. And I have got the Perfect Pie Maker dies and the Perfect Pie Maker add-on dies that I'm going to work with. This is just part of the release. I'm showing you the things I'm going to work with. And I've got the Kissing Booth add-on Autumn Festival craft dies that go along with this Kissing Booth die. And these are the ones that I'm going to be working with today. Now, our other designers will be working with other products on this hop. This is a release hop for Kat Scrappiness. I'm going to bring in the Farmhouse 6x6 Premium cardstock, and I'm going to use a panel of that for my first card. And we are going to create a tablecloth type card because we are going to be working with our Perfect Pie Maker dies and the Perfect Pie Maker add-on dies. And I'm going to create a pie here. And I'm just going to take the lattice pie and I'm going to lay it on top of a panel of red. This could be cherry pie, it could be apple pie, whatever. And then I'm going to add in a little darker tone that I'm going to blend. I'm going to add the decorative edge to the pie crust, and it's going to be a little bit darker because usually that crust on the edge there tends to get a little bit darker, and unless you cover it up with tinfoil, which I do sometimes on my pumpkin pies. So, and I've also die cut out of that same Portobello cardstock an apple, and I'm going to put it on there because a lot of times you'll take your leftover dough and you'll use a cookie cutter or something and cut out a design and lay it on top of your pie just to make it look a little prettier. And I wanted to show you what this slice of pie looked like, and I decided, since the holidays are coming up, that I'd make it a piece of pumpkin pie. So I just took that Dune cardstock and ran some of my orange blending brush over it, and I just am making a piece of pumpkin pie. But I need a plate to put this down on because these two pieces don't, they lay side by side, not necessarily on top of each other. So I'm going to bring in a red plate, and it'll look nice sitting on our red tablecloth. And I'm going to get my pie crust laid down on there, and then my piece of pumpkin pie tucked in on there. And it looks super cute and quite yummy. And then I'm going to bring in, I remember that there was a dollop of whipped cream that you could die cut out. So I just grabbed some white cardstock and I die cut out that little dollop of whipped cream. And I'm just showing you the add-ons. We've got cherries and just all kinds of really cool add-ons that you can have to it. You can, you've got some leaves and some hearts and some strawberries and some cherries, and you've got your plate and you've got your silverware and you've got your pie server. And I'm bringing the pie server and the silverware in for this. And I'm just kind of crisscrossing my fork and my knife, and I'm going to get them laid down on my table here and get all of my elements glued down. Now, this hop is a giveaway hop in which you have a chance to win a $15 gift card from Kat Scrappiness, and all you have to do is fill out the Copter form that is linked in the description box below. So I would encourage you to do that so that you'll have a chance to win. We also have a playlist in the description box below, which you can follow along all of the designers and see what they're making and see all of the products. And I just put a hey y'all sentiment down there. Now we're going to move on to our next card, and this card I'm using the Sunflower Fun Flower Duo Craft Dies. And I've got some paper from that farm premium cardstock from Kat Scrappiness, and I'm going to match it up with some Spellbinders paper, and I've embossed it with a Sunflower Slimline embossing folder. This panel's 3 3/4 by 5, and I just put it in that Slimline embossing folder that is sunflower, and I thought I'm just bringing in all the sunflower elements. I've got my background paper that's got sunflowers on it, and then I'm going to create my die cuts here with the sunflowers. And I love this set. It's easy to make a really pretty card very quickly. So I'm just taking whatever's left over on my orange blending brushes and just kind of putting a little bit of shading on one side of these flowers. And then I've also die cut out 3 of these, but I'm actually only going to use 2 because I'm going to layer them up like they should be. You should layer 2 of these flowers on top of each other to get a good full sunflower. So that's what I'm going to do here. And then I'm going to bring in another flower and get it layered up, and then we'll assemble our card. So I've got my other flower. I'm just kind of eyeballing what I'm going to do there, and I'm going to ink blend it up, and I'm using both my orange and my brown blending brush there and just adding some color to it. Just adding a little extra dimension, layering it up, and I'm going to twist it around until I get it exactly like what I want it. And then we'll add the center on it. Now this die does have another center that is a little different, that you could create a little different flower. I think that's why it's called Sunflower Fun Flower, because you could just make any kind of flower you wanted with it. But I'm going to bring in some of my green inks, and then I wind up moving to a blue ink and adding some color to these leaves. I'm using Uncharted Mariner, and I like it because then it kind of brings it closer to the tone of my cardstock that I have embossed, and I think it makes it blend nice. And I'll do the extra leaves as well and just ink them up, and then we'll be ready to assemble this card. So I need to clean off my workspace, so I took a minute and did that, and then came back in. We're going to lay our stems with our leaves down and get them laid down on our card base. And I think just these 2 are fine. I know normally they say you should lay things in 3s, but these are pretty good sized dies, and I think they look beautiful with the other elements that we have here. So I'm going to take those big leaves, and I'm just going to position them on there. I'm going to use them. I die cut them out, so I'll lay them down on there. And then I've decided I'm going to bring in some foam tape and pop up my sunflowers, and then we'll get them laid down on our card base. So I'll lay the first one down, we'll tuck that other leaf in, add a little glue, and then we will position our second sunflower on our card, and it really looks pretty. And so now I'm going to bring in this sentiment from the Fork and Farm release that we previously did, and it says, "Welcome to the funny farm." I'm going to cut the funny part out, and I'm going to put "Welcome to the farm." And I know exactly what I'm going to do with this card. I've got somebody that needs to get it, and I put a little foam on the back of it and popped it up, and that finishes off the card, except for we're going to bring in some of those tangerine embellishments and get them laid down. So we'll put 2 in the upper left-hand corner, and then we'll add 1 to the lower right-hand corner, and that will finish off this card. And then we'll be ready to move on to our third card, which is the one where we use the Autumn Festival craft dies that are add-ons to the kissing booth, and we are going to have another fun card. So we'll get these put away, and we'll move on to the third and final card. And I know this video is a little bit longer, but I just had to get all of this in because it's just such wonderful dies, and I just love how it comes together. So I'm just blending this. This is going to be my sky on this. I'm creating a scene here, and I'm just bringing Uncharted Mariner and just blending, and trying to get a kind of a colorful sky scene there. And so we're going to get that. We'll clean up the dusk, and I'm going to get it laid down on my card base. I've noticed that my base is a little off, so I'll cut it down. And then I'm going to get it laid down on my card base. And you'll notice it's a little shorter than my card base, but it's because I'm going to bring in some other layers for some, I don't know, some dirt that we're going to create like a dirt scene here. Because we're out at the pumpkin patch is where we are today. And I'm going to get this laid down on here. And it is too long, but I want to get it positioned how I want it. And then I'll just take it to my guillotine and just cut it off and get it exactly how I want it to be. So I've gotten that taken care of, and I've decided to bring my little brown blending brush and just add a little dimension to my dirt that I've got there. I've got some dirt piles, and I'm just inking it up. Now we're ready to bring in our kissing booth, and I've got a quokka, And it was an ephemera piece that we have. Now we've got ephemera with Kat Scrappiness, and I did a little snipping on it. This was from the crafty quokka ephemera, and I just snipped away the crafty stuff and positioned my quokka in my booth so that it can be my quokka can be working the booth. And I've got this decorative element for the top of my kissing booth, and this is part of the add-on. And I love this. I can just imagine all the different colors that you can make this little awning with and put it on the top of your kissing booth, or in this case, your pumpkin patch booth. And then I've got a string of leaves, and I've got my banner here, my market banner, and I'm going to get it laid down on that yellow cardstock, and it's going to match my awning and my leaves, my colorful leaves, and we'll just get it layered up on there. And we're going to position it up there. I am going to tuck my leaf banner in to where my sign kind of covers up where the banner starts and finishes. And we'll get it laid down on there. And then we'll put our market sign. And it's super cute. This is going to come together and be really cute. Now my glue is clogged, so I'm unclogging it. And we'll get our market sign on there. I think it looks really cute. Now I had some scraps, and these pieces are great for to do your scrap buster, because you've got some, you can have strips left over and you've got some pretty small pieces. And I had some scraps, and so I just kind of randomly die cut out that banner in brown, and it wasn't, my strips weren't long enough, so I just got individual leaves, and I'm on the stems, and I just kind of cut off the little bits of stems that were on there, and I'm just layering these up, just so I have the kind of repetition of colors on my little pumpkin booth. And I'm going to get it laid down here on my scene, and we'll just glue it up. Get it laid down on there. And then we're going to bring in some fun stuff. So I have die cut out all these little pumpkins. There's two sizes of pumpkins, and I did orange and white. I always like the white pumpkins that you see at the pumpkin patch, so I wanted some orange ones and I wanted some white ones. And I'm just going to kind of position them how I want them. And I've got little signs there. I've got a $3 sign and a little $5 sign, and that's what those two little signs are. So my big pumpkins are going to be $5 a piece, and my little pumpkins are going to be $3 a piece. And I'm going to have orange and white pumpkins available for sale. And I'm just figuring out how I want to position all of them, and I think I'm getting it how I want it. So I'll add a little bit more glue and get them layered up. And then I decide I should have colored my stems. So I just add a little bit of green to my stems, and I'm going to get this laid down on this side of my craft booth, and I'm going to add just a little strip of foam tape so that it'll help level it off, and it'll lay up next to my booth nicely. And I'm going to put my little $3 sign down here on my my $5 sign on my big pumpkins, and then I'm going to position my little pumpkins, and I'm inking up the stems on them as well, and we'll get them arranged on the other side. And I'm going to put one of the pumpkins up there like the quokka is, working with one of the pumpkins. So I'll put it up there, and we'll just get all these positioned. I'm going to tuck this bigger one back in there because I think I've got room for one more, and I did die cut it out. And I'm going to put my little $3 sign there and clean up my desk, and we'll get this other white pumpkin laid down up here with our quokka, and I'm going to pop it up a little bit and position it in there. And I just think this card's darling. So here's our 3 cards. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.